Welcome back to another episode of Jason's Bricks in 5, where we discuss LEGO topics in 5 minutes or less. As I mentioned in my last video, I guess it was 2 days ago, I got the new UCS Razor Crest that was just released. We're going to go ahead and build it and take a look. So here it is, the completed set. You can see it is quite large. Comes with 4 minifigures. 2 of them are brand new to this set, haven't seen in another one, as well as some, improved printing on the Mandalorian, which is great. I think it's a really, really good looking ship. It's got a lot of great details, really looks quite impressive. One of the things when I heard that it was coming out and the price that it was going to be, I was concerned about was the size. At $600, that's not much less than what the Star Destroyer is. I was concerned because, how does the size of this one compare to some of the others? So I thought we'd take a look. I know there's other videos out there, I'm sure, where you can see lots of the detail of the ship and some of that. Rather than highlight some of those details, I thought we could just show you a comparison of this to some of the other LEGO sets that you might be familiar with, see how they compare. So the first ship that comes to mind when thinking of comparing it is probably the original playset version of the Razor Crest. This one came out, I think it was 2019. It's a great set, but you can see quite a big difference between these two. Really not in the same league. So I don't think that this is necessarily going to take away from the market for this, because it's a totally different individual that might be collecting these versus these. You can see how much more massive it is. This one has, the big stickers on the outside, whereas a lot of the details are brick built on the larger one. So, but that gives you a good idea of the scale should you have this set. The next set I thought of comparing it to was the last UCS set that came out. So we've got the Luke's Land Speeder that came out at the beginning of the year. That one was $200. You can certainly see there is definitely a size difference. This one is a lot easier to display on smaller places. This one could be quite challenging for some people. They both have great detail like they've done with so many of the recent UCS sets, but that gives you an idea of the size should you be familiar with what the UCS Luke's Land Speeder is. So the last ship we're going to compare it to is probably the one that I think is maybe the best comparison if you're familiar, which is the UCS Gunship. This one came out last year, was $350. Various reviews, whatnot. But if you look at these two, just initial response, you can see they're very similar in size. The Razor Crest appears to be slightly longer, mostly because of this tail. The gunship tends to be a little bit higher, and I think a lot of it has to do with the stand that's down here. But size-wise, this is the one I would say it is probably the best match to, if you're familiar. Now, you might say, well, then what is the difference in the price? When you look at this one, you can see there's a lot of open space. It's not really built minifig scale. Comes with only, the 2 non-exclusive, really minifigures. Whereas this one here, it is built in a minifig scale, so there's lots of detail inside and lots of little parts and stuff that go to make it up. And you can tell when you pick it up, it is quite a bit heavier than the gunship is. So if you're familiar with it, this is the one I would say, if you're thinking of, where you might be able to fit this. If you have found a spot where you can fit something like this, this would be around the same size. So overall, I do have to say I'm real happy with the Razor Crest. The price is something that's difficult to swallow, but it seems to be more common with a lot of the Lego sets nowadays. So if you're a Star Wars fan, if you're a Lego fan, you really like the Mandalorian, it could certainly be something that would be something desired by you. But that's going to be something that every individual is going to have to make a decision for themselves. But I don't think Lego has let us down with the model that they have. I think it's great, and we'll go ahead and put this in the spot that I found. But I want to thank everyone for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Jason's Bricks in 5.